we running? Are we going? Baby,
This is going to be a fire.
Yeah, why are you eating?
I'm just took a bite.
Recording. We're on.
It's a pumpkin spice bar.
Guys, welcome.
So basic.
Saxony's eating lunch and breakfast and brunch.
We're all family here.
Yeah, but we're doing a podcast, babe, and you're eating.
I'm almost done.
You ready? Can you pull it together? It's not like we sprung this on you. You knew what was happening, babe.
I've become way too comfortable in this relationship.
Guys, welcome. I think we should just have microphones set up 24/7. There's a high probability that we should just do it.
Oh God.
We spent the last couple of minutes
we should just
ranting on some things, which was really cool. We're planning to do a Q&A episode, which we do have some questions we're going to get to. But Sax really wanted to share some things with you guys.
Yeah.
To kick this podcast off. And I have to warn you, I have to preface it, that she'll likely offend you with what she's going to say. And she does have nice boots on right now. Those boots are nice, babe. You definitely needed more boots.
They whistled at me when I walked by him in Nordstrom's. They were like, "Hey, girl."
I'm sure they
I was
did.
like, "Oh, hey."
How about those other 800 pairs of Freebirds you got?
Thankfully, my husband and I.
Freebird are the tap-out shirts for women. That's a good one, too. It's the Affliction shirts for women.
What are the Jeffrey Campbells?
Okay, babe, why don't you listen. Start us off. We were having a grand conversation a few minutes ago, and I think you should share with everybody what we were talking about while some of these other questions
So this morning we had a great sex session, and
it's not what we were talking about, but whatever.
Well, no,
we did have some great sex this morning.
I'm giving them like the whole story, and so Sean was getting ready, and
this is gonna be a good one.
Okay, pull it together.
Okay, go.
And I asked. I don't know how it came up, but basically it came down to if he would fuck me if I had no legs. And we were talking about like where is the line in which till death do us part is not applicable anymore. You got to take this. This is a very sensitive topic.
So we were talking this morning about sex, and like if something happened or you weren't attracted or whatever, like about having sex, about not having sex anymore or not being attractive or whatever. I have no idea how that came up.
I don't either.
I have no clue how it came up.
I can't
but
remember.
It led to a really interesting conversation, right? And one of the things that we were just talking about is the reality of relationships changing and the dynamic of relationships changing and what you agree to and don't agree to, and that till death do us part. And you hear a lot of conversations and a lot of relationships, that you say, well, I love this person and I love their soul and I'm in love with their soul. And the real truth is, like, you don't fall in love with someone's soul out of the gates. Like you don't look at somebody from across the room and go, oh my God, their soul. Mm-hmm. You look at somebody and you're physically attracted first, period. End of story. You can't prove that wrong. It doesn't happen that way. Energetically, sure. Can I be magnetized to you? Yes. But look, if you're radically obese and you're not physically attracted, you're not going to be connected. Plain and simple. Done and done. I fully believe that. I don't think anybody
unless that's
listening,
what you're into.
Well, unless you're into fat people, great. Then cool, whatever. But the conversation. This is why we have to have
Sean's
the cameras
not
boarding.
into that.
No, but listen. This is a very real conversation, and we want to make a point out of this, and then we're going to ask some questions, whatever else. Like I think, comes a point in time where you can talk about an accident, right? You can talk about this happened or that happened, and your connection and us being very physical creatures. We love to have sex, and there is, without question, a radical connection physically to each other. And I think that most people would agree that there is a physical connection. There is a physical attachment and a physical attraction to someone, right? And
as Bryce said, it's the glue.
It came up because you were saying that you were on top of me this morning, right? I mean, you looked down and you were like, you said what?
Oh, baby.
This is how I think it came up.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you were like, dude, you're fucking hot, the whole thing, whatever, right? And that's where this whole thing started from. And I truly believe that like if you and I are marry and you decide to just absolutely cut loose and not give a flying fuck about yourself, and you gain 400 pounds, this is not a death to us part. It's a death to us part till death do us part, or you hit 379 on the fucking scales and then I'm out kind of a deal, right? That's just real. Like but
it makes sense of why. It's
right.
more than just freaking weight.
Right. And I think the conversation that we were having and to really emphasize this is if that was the case, then you would obviously be in a very dark place, or you would be in a place where you just gave up or you quit or whatever, right? And that's not who I married. That's not what I married. Like when you talk physical things happening, you lose an arm, you lose an eye, you lose a leg, you lose a freaking ass cheek, whatever, it is what it is, right? Like that's, I think, a conversation that we can have, but I can't prove that. You can't prove that. Nobody listening to this, unless they've been through it, can say, oh, well, if you did this or that happened, I'd still love you. And you get there, then let us know how that goes. But the reality is, like, there's a lot of things that happen in a relationship that are very, very, very detrimental that I think as a culture and a society, we put really interesting labels around, right? Yeah. If you got married and you were both in shape and one person decides to just cut loose, well, I'm married, so it doesn't matter anymore. I'm not on the hunt. I'm not on the prowl. I'm not on the game. And you decide to gain 300 pounds, that changes more than just the physical dynamic. That changes the emotional dynamic. That changes the connection. And there's a lot of people that struggle with this because you look at it and say, well, men specifically, we're very, very, very carnal creatures. Like we look at beauty, we look at bodies, and we think about them. That's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, there'll be lots of people that want to insert their Bible verse and say, well, if you lust after a woman, if you think after a woman, you've already committed adultery. If that's the real case, then 99% of men on this planet have committed adultery. And any dude who says that he's never looked at a woman and thought thoughts or objectified her boobs or her ass or her legs, he's a fucking liar. Period. I fully believe that. I fully believe that. Now, there'll be lots of noble men that will say that are listening to this, maybe with their wives, that will look at their wife right now and go, no, honey, I've never done that. You're fucking lying, dude. You're lying. Want to know how I know you're lying? Go to a gym and watch what dudes watch. Look what dudes look at. They look at the hot chicks in the fucking yoga pants and the sports bras and all that. Don't believe me? Just literally go sit in the corner of any gym. And I don't care if the dude's 87 years old or 27 years old. You watch what dudes watch. They watch hot chicks at the gym. And, of course, they flex in the mirror and take selfies and the whole thing. That kind of proves the point, right? Does it make it wrong? No. Is it bad? No. It's truth. It's what it is. It's what it is. And I think what's really interesting is this idea and this notion that somehow, some way, as life changes and life grows and things happen, you have two choices. Like, I want to continue to stay attractive. If I gain 300 fucking pounds, I don't expect you to be as radically attracted to me and wanting to freaking have sex with me and wanting to go down on me and all this other shit while I'm some stinky fat fucking bastard, right? And I think the roles are very much reversed the opposite way too. Period. End of story.
Well, and if you stopped being ambitious and pursuing growth and if you just got lazy, and didn't give a fuck, I wouldn't hang around. And it has nothing to do with money. It's the energy. It's like, if you quit, I'm going to quit. And that doesn't mean that I'm quitting. Like, it's just like, I want better.
It's not the issue of a hard time.
Right.
It's not the issue if you're going through a hard time.
Heavens no.
You go through things with your body. I go through things with my body.
Sure.
Is my body fat percentage today the same as it was yesterday? No. We're not talking about that. We're talking about dramatic shit. Like, we go from me not being able to provide food for my family, me just stopping, me quitting, me putting my head up my ass and not providing anything. I don't expect you to stick around.
Right.
Period. You decide to quit, like, focusing on your body, investing in your body, taking care of yourself emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically. I'm not sticking around. Plain and simple. Done and done.
Yeah.
I don't think that is outlandish.
It's almost a misrepresentation of what you married.
Right.
It's like when people dramatically change for the negative. Dramatically change for the positive all day long. Get it. Like, I love that. But dramatically change in the negative or a downward slope, it's like, I didn't sign up for that. Yeah. And I'm not going to stay out of obligation. I can still love you, but I'm not going to roll with you. I'm not. So, I'm glad we agree on that one.
Yeah. What else were we talking about that on this?
We were talking.
We just fucking exploded for like 10 minutes. We were on fire with this conversation. Then, of course, you turn the mics on. It's like, how do we recreate that?
Like, hold it.
Yeah. I think this is an important topic, man, because there are, infidelity is a big thing. This is another thing we were talking about, and I truly believe that cheating in and of itself, whatever you want to determine that as, it doesn't start initially with a physical reality. It's an emotional disconnect.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that don't feel good about themselves on this planet. There are a lot of women that don't like who they are, what they look like.
Yeah.
There are a lot of men that don't like who they are, what they look like, right? And there are a lot of disconnects in relationships where physical connection, sex, is used as like not only like a shelter, but also as a tool and a weapon of war, if you will, literal war. Yeah. And I think it's extremely, extremely, extremely important for men and women to understand that there is a physical connection involved in a relationship, period. And if you somehow think that you're going to be loved the same while you completely let go, while you completely go down a different path, I mean, ladies, if you use sex as a weapon against men, if you don't feel good about yourself and you say, well, I don't ever want to take my clothes off because you've gained weight or whatever it is, right? And this is, baby, you'll back me up on this. I know this. Yeah. And you decide that you want to use sex as this thing. Well, I don't feel good about myself, so I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it. And you inject that into your relationship. And somehow, like, you're surprised that your man's eye starts to wander or his carnal needs are not being met, and you're mad about that or you're upset about that. Like, I'm not excusing infidelity at all. I'm not making it right. I'm not saying that it's good. I mean, you and I have a very different dynamic around this because we're very, 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 we're raw and open and fucking honest. And that's a whole nother conversation around this that most human beings aren't. They're not honest about this. Women ask a man, do you ever think about another one? No, I've never thought about another one. Fucking just tell. Yeah, I have. You walk by a chick. We were talking about this. That woman has an amazing body or she's got an amazing ass. Does that mean I'm trying to go freaking hook up with this chick? No. We can walk down the beach and you can say, dude, that dude's ripped. Look at that dude's shoulders. And I'm not like, oh, well, why don't you talk about my shoulders? I'm not thinking you're trying to go smash the dude. It's just a real observation, right?
Yeah.
But back to the topic of the whole, disconnect and infidelity and stuff like that. This is a very real thing happening in relationships. And I truly believe that when you stop feeling good about yourself, you stop wanting to connect with your partner sexually. You stop connecting in that very, very, very sacred, very special, very intimate, very connecting way because you feel like shit. And somehow you're surprised that those carnal needs are not being met, that someone goes and finds them someplace else or connects someplace else. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? Yeah. I mean, it's real. It's happening. And this is why it's so goddamn important for human beings to invest in themselves. This is why you and I talk to people, coach people, why I'm so adamant about getting your body and your mind and your intimacy and your connection good with you first. Yeah. Because if I'm good, then we can be good. And you and I both very heavily invest in ourselves. We also invest in our relationship, right?
Very much, yeah.
But, I think our connection intimately has a lot to do with the fact that we both feel really good about ourselves. We know that we look good. We know that we have a very open relationship in the sense that we can talk about anything and there's no shame around that. I'm not shamed for saying things that I want to do to you, and you're not shamed for doing things to me and saying things that you want me to do to you, right? But the truth is that I hear this from a lot of men and women. It's the same thing. Like, you let yourself go. You stop investing in yourself. You gain a bunch of weight. You don't look the same. You don't act the same. You're not connected. You want to turn the lights off because you feel like shit. You don't want to fuck because you feel like shit. And somehow you get upset. Somehow you're surprised that the person that you're with stops communicating with you, stops connecting with you, stops wanting to be with you intimately. It's a very real recipe, and it's happening all over the place. Yeah.
I remember even when before we got married, you were very clear that you said, if you stop being nice to me, like, just kindness, think about this. It's so basic, but that has, I remember I sat with that and I was like, wow, like that is like a big thing for you. It's like, if you stopped being nice to me, I'm not going to be with you. Yeah. And I thought like, it goes beyond just physical. It's like I think that so many people, it's like they get married and then it's like, oh, locked it up.
Yeah.
Now,
good.
like, we're good.
All right.
And,
we worked really
and
hard to
that's
get here. We got here, and now let's put it on cruise control.
And the divorce rate proves that that is not a fact.
Right.
Like, if nothing should change from the courting and from the dating. And I mean, even last night it was date night, and I get all dolled up on date night. Why? Because I will always do that, because I want to look sexy, and I put in a lot of effort for you because it's date night, and I love the energy of that. And I'm not ever going to show up on date night in sweats and a messy bun unless we're going to watch movies or something. But like, this is something that will always be that way. It will always be that way.
Right. If you stop, and a very granular level conversation on this, if you stop investing in your business will die. Period. You stop investing in leads, you stop investing in clients, you stop investing in your business, it will die. Period. You stop investing in your body, you stop working out, you stop injecting good things into your body, ingesting good things, good food, healthy shit, stuff that nourishes your body and your brain, it will just completely wither away. Right? You stop investing in your relationship, don't be surprised why it dies.
Yeah.
If people will say, well, this is easy for you guys to say. Both of you and I have been married. And I can tell you very, very, very fervently why you and I were so fucking balls deep out of the gates and open. Because you and I both had the experience that we didn't want to have again. And so we were not afraid to say, yo, these are the non-negotiables. Like, we've talked about this. Sex is a non-negotiable. You use sex against me, I'm out. I've said that plain and simple.
Yeah.
You turn sex into a weapon, I'm out. Done. I don't play those games. I will never play those games. There will never be a situation where there's a no or a game in my relationship ever. And that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with you. That's very much me. It's a boundary of mine.
Right.
I will never have that happen in my space. I will never allow that in my space, right? And I think you would say the same. If all of a sudden I quit investing in myself and being a provider for the family, why would you stick around? Why would you want to stick around? Well, we're married until death do us part and the whole thing. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
I can still love you, but I'm not gonna I won't want to be married to you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So say there is a couple listening to this, and they're like, oh, one of them maybe is just feeling like, okay, this is my situation. How do I approach this with my partner? Like, you coach a lot of men.
Yep.
Like, how would you? I know how you would, but give them like.
I'll give you an exact scenario that was real and that happened. This exact scenario. Okay. This isn't made up. This is 100% real, and a lot of you listening know me, and you know this exact story, and you know who I'm talking about. I had a gentleman come to the Lions Not Sheep experience. Literally, he bumped into me at a gas station one day. Hey, man, I see you're doing these things. My life, I'm struggling, da-da-da. Long story short, he comes to the Lions Not Sheep experience. He has cheated on his wife, who he has 2 kids with, and he knocked up his girlfriend. His life is in shambles. He's as disconnected from himself, from his wife, from his creator, from anything. He's literally floundering. He's wandering. He went down that path where he and his wife were very religious. They were married in this religious culture and this religious thing, and the talk of sex was not real. It was taboo, blah, 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 blah. Very much like very many couples out there, right? And so he loses that intimate connection with her. She has the babies, the whole thing. And he chooses what he chooses. He chooses to find this connection elsewhere. Do I condone that, endorse that? No, it's what happened. And we had a conversation, and he's like, dude, I want all of these things sexually that my wife doesn't want. I have sexual needs, and they're not being met. And the reality is he wasn't talking to his wife about it. He wasn't communicating.
And this
plain
is
and simple.
so common.
This is fucking common, guys.
So
and
common.
you're probably listening to this as many of you understand this. And I promise you, you might agree with me, disagree with me. You might think I'm an asshole. I don't really give a shit, but this is real. And I know every human being on earth, in one way or another, battles this at some point in time. Maybe you've crossed that threshold and you're there. Maybe right now you're listening to this and you're like, fuck, man, I'm not connected with my wife. She doesn't want to fuck me. I don't want to fuck her. I don't like her. She doesn't like me. And you're in this quagmire of shit like this guy was. And I literally said to him, I said, dude, you've created this mess. Now, the cool part is his wife wanted to work it out. His wife found out about the kid, found out about the girlfriend, found out about everything, and she wanted to work it out, which God bless her for this,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
And so I said, the only thing that you do when you go home is you set the table, literally take her to dinner, create distance from your family, like literally set aside a night that you can sit down and have a very, very real and very raw and very intimate conversation with your wife. And he said, okay. And I said, I want you to tell her everything. I said, dude, the truth of the matter is you've already lied. Mm-hmm. You've already gone down that path. You've already held back. You haven't told her what you wanted. You haven't told her the things that are inside of you. You haven't told her about the desires and the fears and all of the things that she's probably dealing with too. So you've already gone down that path and it hasn't worked. You found yourself in the situation. So what's the worst that'll happen? You'll tell her truth and you guys won't be together. You're already like dangling by a thread, right? He says, okay, I'll do it. And I said, you have to be all in, bro. It has to be all in. You can't hold anything back. And he said, okay, I'll do it. I didn't know if he would or not. I wasn't sure, because that's a hard conversation,
that's a
man.
big thing.
This is one of the reasons that led to my divorce. This is one of the very real things that happened in my world, and the reason I'm so fucking passionate about this, because I went down that path. I was in a relationship where my wife gained weight and had kids and didn't feel good, and it affected us big time. And I didn't feel good, and I went down that path, and I gained weight, and I didn't look good, and it affected me. And this is very real for me because I lived it. And a couple of days later, he calls me, and he was super emotional. I was like, what's up? And he's like, I went to dinner, and we had the conversation. I said, what did you do? He said, I told her everything. He's like, I told her everything. I told her all of the things that I wanted to do sexually. I told her all of the desires that I had. I told her everything that I wanted to accomplish and everything I wanted. I told her literally exactly how I wanted our sex life to be, how I wanted our connection to be, how I wanted to communicate, how I wanted to be able to like literally share anything and everything with her. And more than anything, I told her the sexual needs that I have and where I want to be and what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was like, and he said, I'll never forget the conversation. He said, she looks at me and says, why didn't you tell me any of this? I want that too. Mm-hmm. I want that too. Think that through for 2 seconds. We're these creatures who are programmed to think that because I have a thought or a desire, it's bad. We've been told by religions, and we've been told by these moral hierarchies. Hell, a lot of them are bad people in and of themselves. A lot of them are doing wacky, crazy, dumb shit, but that they're telling you that if you have a thought about another woman, you're going to hell, right? We've been programmed to think that if I think another woman has a nice ass, that I'm a pig, that I'm a piece of shit. We've been programmed not to talk about these things and to hold back and talking about, butt shit and having fucking anal sex and blowjobs. Oh, it's taboo. Don't say any of that. You see grown-ass adults that can't talk about blowjobs. They get fucking flustered about that shit. They get all rosy-cheeked. And I'm like, yo, you're fucking 40 years old and you're acting like a child.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? Your sex life must suck. And the truth of the matter is, like, we want a lot of the same things in life. And one of the main disconnects in that reality, and this is why this came up and why, it's true. It's very true. We all have thoughts. We all have desires. We all have things in our mind. Does that make us bad or wrong? No. Mm-hmm. If we're walking down the beach and I see a pretty girl, or you see a good-looking dude, and you say something or I say something, we're still walking down the beach together. Does that mean I'm going to go friggin' smash some chick or you're going to go blow that dude just because you think he looks good? No. It's real.
Yeah.
It is real to look at another human being and say, they're attractive. She has nice boobs. He's got nice abs. That's very fucking real. And we've built this wall in this world where we can't say any of these things because somehow it's objectifying, but even worse. And this is the thing that people don't realize. If I look at a woman, and we just talked about this, if I look at a woman and say that chick's got an amazing body or she's got a nice ass or whatever, and you look over and you say, yes, she does. Like, it's your choice whether or not
I make it about me.
You make it about you.
Yeah.
Because who compliments your ass on a daily?
You.
Me. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I say that chick, that woman has this or is attractive or whatever, has nothing to do with you or me.
Right.
And we've built this culture in this society, and we are part of this culture in the society. You, me, every fucking person listening to this. And I don't care if you're Baptist, Protestant, Lutheran, Catholic, Mormon, it doesn't matter. We live in this day and age where we as grown adults, like, the word penis comes up and it's like, oh, you act like a fucking child. You talk about, sex toys. Oh, like they lock them away in these secret hidden rooms of these sex stores where it's like, oh, I don't even want to go in there. I have to show my ID. I hope we fucking cover our faces so no one sees us going in there to buy vibrators and dildos and butt plugs.
You ever run into a client in the back room of Blue Boutique? Oh wait, I have.
You did. Yeah.
Oh, real estate.
Hey, by the way, I'm gonna sell your house next week. You should check out these dildos.
Would you like
amazing.
one of these in your closing package? I'm cool like that.
But that scenario with my client and my buddy is very real, man.
Yeah.
And it's happening all over the place.
And women want truth. This
100%.
is the thing is, I've dated plenty, and that was something that happened so often. This is why I know it's super common, is I was being protected by this man not giving me full truth because he felt like he was protecting me. No, you're robbing me from an experience. You're robbing me from an opportunity to have an opinion. You're robbing me from being able to connect together because you've already made the decision for me.
Right.
And that is like, women want truth. And here's how it works too, is if you want a woman to trust you, be honest with her. Like honest.
And vice versa.
Right. Like so honest to the point where, like, that's like with us. Like, I trust you more than I've trusted any human being on this planet because you're so incredibly committed to truth with me, to the point where sometimes it's a lot. And like, it's a lot at first because I wasn't used to that. But at the end of the day, even if there's difficult truths involved, there's difficult conversations, I trust you because you're giving me all the truth.
Okay, so when you say difficult, because you asked the question, what about couples listening right now? Let's talk about this for 2 seconds.
Difficult is in you're conditioned.
Correct.
Because
100%.
Even us.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Even us, like radical truth, there's a learning curve there. There's a growing pain. It's a new level of showing up in your life. Right. And a lot of the conversations will trigger you because they're bringing up your past conditioning. And if you want to level up, you get to look at that. You get to say, okay, here's this radical truth. I can be fucking insecure. I can react. I can throw it away. I can push it away, like, deflect it, or realize that, like, this is fucking truth.
Well, that's when you say difficult, I want to make it like really clear for people. Like, the reason that my relationship failed, my marriage failed, we were emotionally disconnected. And we were emotionally disconnected because we didn't tell the truth. And I've been very open about this, very honest about this. I wrote about this in my book. I've shared this for years. I was not honest. I didn't speak my truth. This is the reason that I'm such a massive advocate for it now. And any of you that have followed me for any period of time know I went through a divorce. I went through the bankruptcy. I went through the whole thing. And I came out of that with that singular knowledge, realizing that most of my life I was just a liar. I never spoke my truth. I never shared how I really felt. I never told what was really going on inside. I just lied because it wasn't socially acceptable. I didn't talk to my wife about certain things because I didn't want her to think these things about me and whatever. And so I just bullshitted. When I got terrible fucking results that way, our sex life was not good.
And you will.
Our emotional connection was gone. And then we ended up fucking divorced like two strangers because neither of us shared truth. We never were truly honest and truly open with each other. So when you say difficult, like, I want everybody to understand, like, you and I made an agreement out of the gates that we cared more about truth than we did the emotions. And so I gave you my word out of the gates. Like, I would never lie to you. Like, I might say something that I know you don't want to hear, or that might be offensive, or that might trigger you, but you know that it's fucking truth.
Yep.
And I think that's the reason we are as connected as we are, is because we both committed to that, and vice versa. You've said some shit to me where I'm like, yo, I don't know that I really wanted to hear that or needed to hear that, but I'm glad that I have it because it is truth, right? And what people need to understand, if you are in that scenario that you're talking about and saying, what do we do? How do we talk to couples that are in that spot? Imagine for a second you've been married for 10 years. I was married for 10 years. And you're sitting here listening to this saying, yo, my sex life isn't what I want it to be. I don't feel good about myself. And you have all of these things, whatever they are, right? Sitting down, like, how do you do this? How do you cross this threshold? How do you get over this barrier? How do you do these things? You fucking tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, you got to understand, fellas, hear me. And my wife is literally sitting 3 feet away from me. So, babe, you can echo in this. Like, you have to understand something, that your woman wants the truth more than anything else. Yeah. Even though the emotional reaction will show you she might be hurt, she might be sad, she might be this. The thing that you have to do for you, I don't tell you the truth for you. I tell you the truth for me.
Right.
I'm going to repeat that for 2 seconds, fellas. And ladies, I want you to hear me. I don't share, I'm not as raw and open and everything else because it's for you. I'm that way for me because I spent most of my life not telling the truth. I spent most of my life bottled up, not sharing what I really wanted. Case in point with us sexually, we have a phenomenal fucking sex life because I'm all in. I tell you shit and you tell me shit and we're both very sexual creatures, but we're very, very, very open and very transparent. Yeah. And I believe that's the reason that we have as good of a sex life as we do, as well as many other aspects of our life. You have to understand something, fellas. Like, you can't share words to comfort your woman. You can't share words to try and appease her. You can't share words that you think she wants to hear to try and regain and hold on to some nobility, right?
It's terrible.
Like, if your woman says, "What are you thinking about?" and you don't tell her exactly what you're thinking about, you're lying. I don't know that very many people really understand this. And there have been times where I've shared things with you that I know probably shocked the shit out of you. What are you thinking about right now? And I'll tell you. And you're like, yo, what? You asked. You asked. And I gave you my word I would tell you.
They're more
Fellas,
funny. They're more like,
that's what
you're thinking about as I'm sucking your dick? Oh, okay.
I really like food. I think about food.
I'm just thinking about what I was going to have for breakfast.
She'll like, we'll be having sex. Okay. What do you think about? I'm thinking about having ice cream right now.
He's literally.
Legit. And, you know, it is what it is. But I really want to
do that at the same time.
I really want to make this point. Babe, guys, shut up. This is serious. We need to be serious about this.
Okay.
Or not. Whatever. But this is real. Like, people are struggling with this shit.
Yes. Yep.
Ladies, like, if you ask your man a fucking question, you better be prepared for the truth. And it might not be what you want to hear.
Ask questions that you want the answers to. If you're going around just asking questions to try and trap him or to get...
Correct.
Like, that's bullshit. Like,
but I really do believe that most human beings, they really, really, really want the truth.
Yeah.
But you have to condition yourself. You have to, again, if you've been 10 years, you're 10 years into a relationship.
Reprogramming.
You have to understand that it's not difficult. It's just a completely different way of looking things. It's like literally you've been walking around with clear glasses on. Now you have red glasses on. You're going to see everything totally different. It's a different shade. It's a different everything. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Understand that, like, ladies, if you ask your man, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want in the bedroom?
What do you want, baby?
Chances are he's going to lie to you. Because if all of a sudden he comes back and he's like, yo, I want to fuck you in the ass, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, and this is not part of your normal game. Or I want you to fuck me in
the ass.
Babe,
that will probably come up in conversations.
If that's not real, like, if you're not being real, then you're going to be completely out to lunch, and you're just going to continue to struggle.
Yeah. Yep. Just being, it is. It's like, and once you get the taste of radical truth. What did I? Oh, about.
Keep going.
About what I said about her fucking you in the ass. There's a market for that too.
Welcome to the fucking world of, like, Bryce is sitting here laughing. I'm like, I'm normally the one that injects the dumb comments. Babe, keep going.
Today's my day.
Congratulations.
No, it's once you become accustomed to radical truth, you'll be so grateful. But there is a huge learning curve to it. Believe me, like, I've gone through it, and I don't know. We can just keep cycling around the same thing, but this is big stuff. Like, I can keep repeating what I've already said, but this is big stuff. This is game changer stuff. This is a new level, and you can do this in an old relationship. You just have to commit to having those conversations. So, what questions did you get?
How would you answer that question?
Which question?
The one that you asked me. What would you tell people?
I would do the same thing. If, say, my husband was lazy, not working, overweight, and doesn't give a shit anymore, I would sit down and be like, listen, these are my needs. These are my expectations for this marriage. Is this something that you can commit to changing? And if there's no interest there, then I'd be like, okay, then we're done. Because it's like that he doesn't have to change for me. If he wants to go and be this lazy piece of shit, he can be. But that also has nothing to do with me. But to give an opportunity out of love, being like, listen, like, this is not working for me. Because maybe, I think maybe in relationships, a lot of people hasn't occurred to them. Maybe they are in a dark space. Maybe they do need this conversation to happen.
Go.
Gunnar, are you being naughty?
Go. Gunnar, bed.
Right.
Keep going, babe.
He's a naughty boy, but he's so cute.
Anything else you want to share on this topic, babe?
No. I mean, I think that just having these conversations, just have the conversations, give people an opportunity to, like, tell you their truth and receive truth. And just, yeah. But I want to know what questions you've got on your Instagram stories.
You want to do an about face on this and go down?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll do intermission with Gunnar.
Let's see.
These are surprise. I'm excited. I like surprises. You look very cute in pink.
Thank you.
I hope you guys are watching this. Sean is like,
he looks here you go. Since we're on the topic,
a flower.
If you could do anything to enhance your sex life, what's your top 3 things?
Oh, I don't know.
Enhance your sex life.
Enhance it. Okay, I'd put a swing in our bedroom. I think that would be fun.
Okay.
I would say make a porn with you. That sounds super fun. A third one?
These aren't 3 things that you want to do. 3 things that can enhance a
That's
sex
an
life.
enhancement.
Okay,
Those are a love. I've done that. That's enhancing it. That's more. I don't know. I have to think about a third. Maybe you eating a bowl of ice cream while I'm giving you head, because you brought that up. That seems maybe that would enhance things for you and make it funny. I don't know.
I feel like we just derailed. I feel like we were rolling on some stuff and we just fucking went way off the cliff. Did we just? Is it me or did we just go like?
Please comment below if we just fucked this up.
Yeah, what happened, babe? What just happened? I don't even know. Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't do episodes following date night, because my brain's always a little blurry.
Why is your brain blurry?
Because I drink a lot of red wine. Stop whistling, young man.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here's another one. What were some examples of disconnect between you two, and how did you reconnect?
Making assumptions. I would say that's probably our biggest thing. And a lot of it was 1.0 when we were dating. It's just being like true to your word. Those type of things. And then truthfully, we just call them out. When the other person's making an assumption, we just say, hey, you're fucking making an assumption right now. And then we base why that is. And then it's like, we just nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
I
think when you talk about reconnecting, like, you know what the good relationship looks like, right? You know what the connected relationship looks like. Like, I have found, and we talked about this with like big questions of other people, like when they, what's so funny?
Your hair is kind of funny. Let me fix your hat.
Babe, what are we doing? What are you doing right now? Are we doing a podcast, or are you still drunk?
No.
Are you high?
No, it's been like 24 hours.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know what the question was now. Oh, how do you reconnect? You just reconnect. Babe, are we doing a podcast?
Yes,
or are we
love.
Like dicking around? Are we turn this into a comedy show?
Maybe.
Oh, well, tell us a joke then. You got a joke?
Nope.
No
I'll
jokes?
have to think of a joke.
Okay, so the question was, what are some examples of disconnect between you two, and how did you reconnect? We disconnect through assumptions. I agree with that. And I choose to focus on getting me right and realizing that whatever we're disconnected on is probably not that important.
Yeah.
And 99.9% of the time, whatever we're disagreeing on, beefing on, dealing with is not that important.
Yeah. Is it really worth it?
Yeah. And so I don't need an explanation. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to have a coming to Jesus about it. I just realize, like, yeah, I can be mad about something, or I can be frustrated about something, or I can just fucking get back on the freaking horse and keep riding.
Yep.
And that's hard for a lot of people. That was hard for me for a lot of years, right? Because you feel like you have to talk about it, or we need to talk about it, or we've got to talk about it. And it's like, no, dude, just fucking keep going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. when getting to know one another, was there ever a disconnection?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sax had commitment issues. She had to deal with that shit. Right?
Kind of.
We had to figure a lot of things out.
We
When
did.
we met each other, it was like everything that we thought, everything that we had projected out into the world that we wanted. And when we met each other, it was like, yo, I don't think this is real. This can't be real. It was like way too much.
Mm-hmm.
So then there was a disconnect. And then there was like that coming to Jesus where I was like, well, maybe that is real.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to step my game up to have that real.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, last question. What is your favorite nano thing about each other? That quirky, little, adorable part.
I absolutely love Sean's like little kid antics, like your love songs that you make up that usually have to do with sex.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love like your little kid antics. You're so cute. I love how you like baby talk the dogs, and yeah, you just when you're like in your little kid, you're just the best.
Yeah, I like that too. When you're just like, you talk like the little kid to me or to the dogs or whatever. It's good. I dig it. Okay, anything else, babe?
No, I know it was a great episode.
Was it?
Yes.
Bryce is over there like, well, yeah.
It'll be very popular.
It'll be very popular. I felt like we were on a roll, and all of a sudden we just like, we were hauling ass, and then the fucking truck just went right off the cliff. I don't even know what happened.
Every time we start talking about butt stuff,
Jesus. I mean, Sax must have some issues. We need to apparently get some therapy around that or have a conversation.
Around butt stuff?
Do we need to?
Around butt stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we? I think
don't
we're
know.
doing great in that
We
department.
started talking about it, and it went crazy. Guys, yeah, hopefully this helped. I think there were probably some good nuggets in here, maybe.
Hopefully, or maybe you were just entertained today. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.